Sonic Boom 94, the Blue Brit Blur here, and today is my first part of a review trilogy I was actually going to shoot back in October for Halloween, but since a lot of stuff came in that way and I kind of forgot about it, I didn't have the time and couldn't do it. But still, that doesn't mean that I can't just chuck it aside. It's a great idea. Now, this first game, Echo Night Beyond, is the first in a trilogy revolving around Japanese survival horror games that I bought back on a holiday in Italy, and they're very good. They each contain an experience which, if you play through them separately, you think to themselves, wow, they're all pretty good. And the first one is called Echo Night Beyond, which is a Japanese action-adventure game which is set like this. Imagine this for 1 second. Your name is Richard. You're not related to any of the Richards in Echo Night 1 and Echo Night 2. That's weird. That's like having every version of Dante in the Devil May Cry games be completely separate. Oh, there's Dante from Devil May Cry 1, then there's this unrelated one in 2, 3 and 4. Oh, then there's the reboot one. I'm hyped for that. But anyway, if you're fiancé and you wish to go to the moon, then there's a crash. Like that. You wake up, you have no idea what to do, and then it goes sort of Bioshock territory, introduction time, where you talk for a few seconds, wake up, then that's it. That's odd. Oh, and by the way, apparently you were in a space shoot, because you're on a spaceship, and it crashed on the space station, on the moon. That's awesome. And oddly enough, you'd expect a guy running around in a spacesuit would have to talk every now and then, but he doesn't. It's just those about 3 or 4 sentences. Completely, that's it. And if you find at the back of the seat in front of you, a ring and a note that says, "I'll be in the observatory." And he has no idea where his fiancée is, so you're basically strolling around the space station on the moon. That's awesome. Like this. And then you find out there are ghosts. The title would have just given it away, especially on the front of the cover, having a ghost. Never mind. In any case, there are 2 kinds of ghosts. There are the normally friendly ghosts who are like this. Hello. I don't know that I'm dead. I'm a nice guy. Because they're like that because they're not in any of this odd supernatural fog. And then there are the other kinds of ghosts who are in the fog, and they are like this. I'm angry. I want to kill. I will kill you all. Now, you might be thinking, you're the only living person on this space station on the moon, right? There's this other guy, a young man, who is apparently creepy and he loves to paint. And alongside him, you also have to save the ghosts. Yes, I know it sounds weird. This isn't exactly Ghostbusters, is it? Now, the idea of this is that the ghosts apparently died without, fulfilling something, so you need to give them an object which kind of acts as I'm moving on, like that. It's going to be difficult with the angry ghosts, but the only way you can stop them from being so is if you manage to get rid of the vents that actually take out the foggy mist. That's right, you have to find a control panel and stop the vents from taking out the mist. Only then will the ghosts that are in that mist go from angry to high. Now, time for gameplay. Now, this is the most interesting aspect of the entire game. You see, I haven't brought up weapons at this point because, well, there aren't any weapons. That's what makes it interesting. You see, Echo Night is a very obscure game series which, while in first-person view, has no weapons. And it's odd, but it adds to the creepiness of the atmosphere. So this is what the control scheme is like. X is to interact with anything, so doors, security guards, items. Triangle is to turn on your flashlight. Yeah, you have a flashlight. It works. Square is to open up your items menu. Circle is to run or jump, but we'll get onto that later. Then the shoulder buttons are to actually look up and look down. The 1 button's being up, L2 being down. I don't know why, it doesn't make any sense. The square button is mainly used for any items that you've gathered, obviously, but many of the items that you will have will be related to any of the ghosts that you have to give to them. Example, there's a really fat ghost who wants, and I shit you not, 2 or 3 chocolate coins and a soda. That's right, because there's nothing more than just portraying fat people, then having food and drinks as the one thing they never got. Really? But there are other kinds of ghosts that are like that, apart from that stereotype, like a French dad and daughter. And it's creepy, but after you manage to reunite the two, especially when getting rid of the mist surrounding the girl, who, without the mist, knows who she is, but with the mist, she doesn't. She's all disorientated. And it's really heartwarming to see the father and the daughter just hug each other and just fly off. It's beautiful. But then there's into space, and by that I mean the moon's surface. That's right, you can go to the moon's surface, like Neil Armstrong. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Circle is to jump. What? Well, it makes sense. And it's odd, but considering how this is the moon's surface we're talking about, this means that your jump is like this. Speaking of the moon being on the moon's surface, is another thing. No ghosts on the moon, hooray! However, if you do fall from a certain high fall, you're gonna die. And it's the weirdest thing. Now, I went at one point on a 10-foot tall ladder. As in, like this. I'm on. You fall off that. Cracked visor, you're dead. Why that works, I've no idea. Wouldn't you just fall and get up? I mean, you're wearing a bulky spacesuit. It's not like the mist is gonna all of a sudden just leap in and kill you or something. This is something which is mainly just affecting the ghosts. It doesn't make sense. Plus, if you are anywhere near the ghosts in their misty state, your heart rate will go up. It will go from 80 beats a minute. It will increase and increase and increase until it gets all the way up to 300, and you eventually have a heart attack and you go game over. So, as you can imagine, you're going to encounter a lot of these misty ghosts. Quite a lot. So, you'd have to make sure you get as far away from them as possible and find a way to turn off the vents so that eventually the ghost will go back to normal. You're going to die a lot in this game, trust me. It'll be like this. I wonder if I'm going to encounter any ghosts here. What the? Oh my god, there's a ghost here, and a ghost there. I don't know where I can go. Surprisingly, after you have managed to bring them back to normal, or whether you just encounter a ghost close up in general, your heart rate will still go up. It's a little bit faster than normal, but I'm okay. I'm shitting myself, even though I'm in front of a ghost who looks like Casper. Like that. It baffles me. But then again, the guy has to fight. Well, he has to encounter ghosts everywhere, so it's not uncommon for him to just get a little bit jumpy. Like that. There's a really annoying section which involves a kid ghost covering your helmet with his hands like this. It's annoying. He's on top of your head like, I don't know, some sort of monkey, and you'll constantly hear his laughing going and see black handprints on your visor like this. The only way you're actually going to get him off is the little shit is by wiping over a mirror, then seeing him. Then he goes. That's annoying. But, mind you, there's one thing I don't like about this game, and it's the fact, spoiler, on the box art. Now, the entire game is pretty much you just trying to find your loved one. Well, if it wasn't for the fact that we saw her like this, blue, then, you know, we wouldn't come to the conclusion, especially when the first time we see her in the game, that she's not exactly in a very good situation. But the only way you're also going to try and get through a lot of the plot, mainly backstory, is by going into a monitor room, which is the only place you'll actually be able to save your game, and view cameras to actually zoom in on things. Now, you'll be able to see these little flashbacks by seeing an odd green liquid substance, I don't know. But the thing is, when you enter these flashbacks, you don't actually explore areas of that flashback. You just fix on whatever it was that triggered the flashback. For example, say you were zooming in on this bottle, right? And it has a little bit of green there, right? So, if that was here, and there was a flashback around there, you would not be able to actually go anywhere out of there. You'd just be fixed right about there. But mind you, it does work in kind of a bit where you're wondering, who is this guy? Especially with one character's reveal, which might make you go, what? At first. And the only thing that actually links all these three Echo Night games together is a red crystal. I'm not going to reveal anything, but that's the only thing that links it together. Now, there is a secret ending. And by the way, getting all of the flashbacks, it doesn't unlock anything. But there is a way to unlock a secret ending which adds to exposition. Mainly, all you got to do is completely free all the ghosts. That's it. Oh, and meet up that painter guy and get a key card. Use that key card on a room. Go down, get a ring, go to normally where the game would climax, and that's it. And, you know, this game does have some good graphics, but they waste the CGI stuff on just the opening and the ending, the canon ending, because there are 4 endings. And I think to myself, well, couldn't they just do a couple of cutscenes like this? Why waste it on there? Especially when the opening has nothing to do with the main plot. It doesn't make any sense. It's really just what makes you gotta wonder, so are there any flaws to this? Well, you're gonna have to need a guide to actually figure out where all these things go. Sometimes it can be a bit confusing, but this is a case of guide, dang it. Yeah, not as much as another game that we'll be reviewing, but mind you, you are going to be a bit clueless, especially with some puzzles. Also, get used to seeing a lot of long corridors, people. It's like this. Oh, there we are. There's a lot of long corridors I'm going through. Mind you, that's not to say that every single area in the game will be like this. It's just that the vast emptiness of everywhere you are makes it feel really creepy. Long, wide, nothing alive. See? That's good because it has a lot of the disturbing atmosphere since you're the only living person there. Except for that painter guy. Now you might be wondering, is it scary? Well, apart from the ghosts and the atmosphere, no. But it is a really good experience. I don't like to rate things out of 10 or out of 5, so I'm just going to end this review by saying that, all in all, Echo Night is a really good game if you have a lot of patience. If you don't, you just give it up after several minutes of not knowing what to do. But it's good, it's inventive, I'm really surprised that this game is obscure. It's not well known, because it should be well known. And for those of you who have played it and know what it's like, I'm sure you'll agree with me that Echo Night Beyond is a ghost story, interesting and refreshing spin. Sonic Boom 94 signing out.